Made it! Ha! I was so afraid I wasn't going to make this flight, so I sent David here to come and pick up my boarding pass. But now David has to go. Thank you. Bye.
Few sci-fi films have captured imagination quite like this visually stunning adventure, merging wild imagination with unforgettable characters. Did you know that the movie almost took a very different direction before becoming the cult classic it is today? Behind the dazzling costumes and epic battles, there are fascinating secrets and hilarious on-set moments fans rarely hear about. What really sets this film apart isn't just its groundbreaking visuals, but also the quirky stories that happened during production. Challenges and concept changes. When director Luc Besson first envisioned the film, it was a project plagued with uncertainty and dramatic shifts. Originally, the story was intended to be darker and more complex, reflecting a grittier vision of the future. This tone was drastically different from the vibrant and quirky universe that audiences ultimately saw. Early drafts of the script included more political intrigue and heavier themes, which Besson later decided to simplify to make the film more accessible and entertaining. These changes meant reshaping many large aspects of the narrative, characters, and settings, setting the stage for the film's unique blend of sci-fi and humor. Financial constraints also played a significant role in shaping the movie's direction. At times, securing funding proved challenging due to the project's ambitious scale and unconventional style. Luc Besson took a huge personal risk and invested his own money to get the film made, which showed his firm belief in the story despite the industry's doubts. The pressure to deliver something both visually groundbreaking and commercially viable influenced many creative decisions. This tension between artistic vision and budget realities pushed the production team to innovate resourcefully. Casting the lead role of Li Lu underwent its own set of challenges as well. Initially, several high-profile actresses were considered, but Besson was looking for someone who could embody both vulnerability and strength in a fresh way. It took time to find Milla Jovovich, who was relatively unknown at the time, but quickly impressed with her athleticism and energy. This search reflected the larger challenge of balancing star power with the need for characters who felt authentic within the imaginative world Besson was creating. The decision ultimately helped the film gain its iconic status. Interestingly, some of the film's futuristic designs and settings almost took a very different form than what was eventually filmed. Besson's concept artist, Jean Moebius Giraud, influenced a visionary aesthetic, but early versions leaned more heavily into surrealism and abstraction. This led to ongoing debates about how far the film should push its visual experimentation without confusing audiences. Adjustments were made to strike a balance between the fantastical and the relatable. Those early creative battles fueled much of the distinctive style viewers now associate with the movie. The main conflict between good and evil, which the mysterious fifth element represents, remained essential to the story. Besson created a concept which combined mythology and spirituality with science fiction through an entirely new storytelling method. The pre-production process experienced multiple changes, which actually helped to achieve the project's goals. The final version of the film successfully transformed its initial grand concepts into a story that combines thrilling elements with light-hearted moments. The final product becomes more impressive when people comprehend its developmental path. The production process required late changes, which impacted major story elements, including the definition of the fifth element. The character of Li Lu evolved from her original abstract form into a human representation of this element. The change created emotional impact while enabling viewers to better understand the mysterious force. The film used this concept to examine human innocence and basic human qualities during a period of advanced technological disorder. The The story editing process became a major milestone which drove the film to artistic change. The supporting characters experienced an unexpected change, which resulted in their tonal transformation. The first script showed more serious character representation, which changed when Ruby Road introduced comic relief to create a fun atmosphere. The film used this element to create lively, unanticipated moments which maintained its serious tone. Luc Besson wanted viewers to embrace the film's uniqueness rather than take it too seriously. The film became a powerful experience because the director made an unconventional choice. With its foundation set by such a tumultuous beginning, the movie was ready to dazzle, starting with its unforgettable costumes. Understanding the costume design. The film's costumes are nothing short of iconic, largely thanks to the imaginative vision of Jean-Paul Gaultier. Known for pushing fashion boundaries, Gaultier crafted outfits that perfectly matched the movie's blend of futuristic fantasy and bold character personalities. His designs incorporated unconventional materials and daring cuts, resulting in looks that were both otherworldly and instantly memorable. This collaboration elevated the film's visual style and set a new standard for sci-fi costume design. Lilu's bandage-like outfit is perhaps the most famous example of Gaultier's creativity at work. Despite initial controversy over its revealing nature, the costume symbolized the character's elemental purity and vulnerability. Instead of relying on complex fabrics or heavy armor, the design used strips of cloth, almost as a visual metaphor for Lilu's existence, fragile yet powerful. This look sparked widespread discussion and remains a frequent reference in fashion and pop culture decades later. It also pushed boundaries on what sci-fi characters could wear to express identity. Beyond Lilu, the costumes of the supporting characters were equally inventive. Ruby Road's flamboyant attire combines bright colors, exaggerated shapes, and metallic textures to highlight his eccentric personality. In contrast, Corbin Dallas's wardrobe is far more utilitarian, grounding him as a relatable everyman in a futuristic setting. This contrast was deliberate, reinforcing character traits through clothing choices. Gaultier's ability to mix flamboyance with subtle details helped flesh out the film's unique world. The production team faced challenges adapting Gaultier's runway designs for practical use during filming. Many costumes had to be modified to allow actors freedom of movement during fight scenes and long shooting days. The vivid colors and textures also required special lighting considerations to maintain the visual impact on screen. This blend of art and functionality demanded close collaboration between designers, director, and cinematographers. The effort paid off with costumes that looked striking but didn't hinder performance. Some costumes reflected futuristic speculation about materials and technology. Gaultier incorporated metallic fabrics and synthetic fibers that suggested advancements beyond current capabilities. At the same time, touches of traditional elements like leather and lace grounded the costumes in recognizable textures. This mix helped balance imagination with believability. It also gave the film a distinctive aesthetic that feels timeless rather than tied to specific trends. The costume pieces that actors wore in the film found new purposes when they were sold for auction at some point in the future. The Lilu bandage outfit, which became a costume auctioned in the first 3 decades after the film release, has become a popular item that collectors desire to own. The items have been included in museum displays that showcase both cinematic art and fashion history. The enduring legacy of the costumes shows their essential role in creating the film's persistent attraction for audiences. The fans remember the costumes with the same power which they remember the main storyline of the film. Costume design helped to build character development through the process of making the film. The actors discovered new methods to perform their characters through the process of wearing their costumes. Milla Jovovich found that Lilu's striking costume design made it easier for her to connect with the character's combination of alien and human qualities. Chris Tucker used Ruby Road's extreme fashion to boost his lively performance. The combination of costume design and acting performance created more effective storytelling. The designs created multiple issues that led to public debate. Some critics felt the costumes prioritized style over practicality or narrative clarity. The boldness of this design element created a central aspect that invited people to experience a bright and exaggerated futuristic environment. The costumes serve as visual storytelling elements that establish instant character impressions that last until the moment an actor begins speaking. The effect of this work continues to create strong effects throughout the years. The evocative costumes naturally led to fascinating casting choices, where actors' abilities to embody these extraordinary characters deepened the film's impact. Casting surprises and roles. Several unexpected casting decisions shaped the film in ways that surprised both audiences and critics alike. Chris Tucker's role as Ruby Road, for example, was originally viewed as a risky choice. Known primarily for his comedic stand-up work, Tucker brought a wild, improvisational energy that few anticipated fitting into the already eclectic mix. However, his performance became one of the film's most memorable highlights, adding levity and eccentricity to the story's high-stakes events. Without Tucker's fearless portrayal, Ruby Road might have been a background character rather than a scene stealer. Milla Jovovich, cast as Lilu, was relatively unknown when the film was made, which gave her portrayal a freshness that established stars sometimes lack. Interestingly, Jovovich was primarily a model before transitioning fully into acting, and this diverse background helped her bring a physicality and distinctive presence to the role. She trained intensely for the demanding fight sequences, elevating the character beyond just special effects and costume. Jovovich's embodiment of Lilu played a huge part in making The Fifth Element feel alive and believable as a key figure of hope and mystery. Bruce Willis, cast as Corbin Dallas, was already a household name thanks to his action hero credentials, but his willingness to embrace the film's quirky tone surprised some fans. Usually associated with grittier roles, Willis infused Corbin with a grounded, everyman heroism balanced by moments of dry humor. This blend helped the character connect emotionally, despite the movie's extravagant setting. His participation also helped bring credibility to a film blending so many unusual elements. Willis's presence balanced the cast's wild energy with relatable charisma. The film reached new heights through Gary Oldman's casting as villain Zorg, since his performance brought additional depth to the character. The character required Oldman to use his typical dark and intense acting style to create a dangerous yet unconventional portrayal. The character study demonstrated multiple dimensions through which the actor expressed his villainous personality, which combined elements of dark humor with unpredictable behavior. The film's conflict gained complexity through this development, which established Zorg as an extraordinary opponent. Oldman took pleasure in his opportunity to perform a highly stylized character, which resulted in his outstanding performance. The film used supporting roles to show diverse backgrounds and unique character traits, which matched its setting in a futuristic multicultural world. The casting process selected actors with diverse backgrounds who represented different nationalities to create authentic and diverse characters for the world. The film used this approach, which showed different cultural aspects, to support its central themes of unity and intergroup survival. The approach created both visual elements and storytelling elements, which produced an expansive experience. The imaginative elements of the world create an environment which feels authentic and occupied by real people. Actors became involved with their roles through more than just their performances, since they played an active role in developing both the dialogue and the character traits. Chris Tucker is known to have improvised several lines, shaping Ruby Road's flamboyant speech and mannerisms. The director Luc Besson received the improvisations with approval because he believed the unplanned comedic elements brought value to the movie. The producers allowed actors to develop their characters, which produced authentic performances and unexpected moments during the filming process. The technique created a performance space where actors could shift between rehearsed material and spontaneous acting. As the story progressed on screen, the visual innovations behind them created a world truly unlike any other. Visual effects, innovations. The fifth element arrived at a time when Hollywood visual effects were rapidly evolving. But Luc Besson's film pushed the frontier in striking new directions. Instead of relying solely on computer-generated imagery, the production expertly blended miniatures, practical effects, and early CGI to craft its vivid, bustling future world. This hybrid approach lent the film a tactile realism often missing from pure digital environments. The futuristic cityscapes, crowded with flying cars and towering structures, were created using detailed physical models, which the filmmakers then enhanced digitally for sweeping shots. One of the film's most impressive achievements was its depiction of flying cars zooming over sprawling urban landscapes. Constructing miniatures for these sequences involved hundreds of meticulously crafted vehicles that could be filmed from various angles. Once shot, these practical effects were layered with computer animation to add dynamic lighting and motion blur, creating the illusion of incredible speed and depth. This combination gave audiences a truly immersive sense of movement through the chaotic metropolis. The special effects team also faced challenges in bringing the alien character, Li Lu, to life beyond makeup and costume. While Mila Jovovich's performance was central, the filmmakers integrated digital enhancements for scenes requiring supernatural feats, such as when Li Lu retrieves the stones. These subtle effects boosted the character's otherworldly presence without overpowering the human element. The decision to avoid heavy CGI on characters was part of Besson's effort to maintain emotional connection despite the film's futuristic premise. You used both physical stunts and visual effects to create innovative battle sequences. The actors used special rigs to perform their challenging dance routines, which simulated zero gravity and fast movements. The team created physical setups, which they enhanced with digital technology to create realistic scenes that combined actual physical movements with dangerous explosive effects. The craftsmanship of stunts enabled performers to maintain authentic energetic motions, which prevented the viewers from perceiving artificial movements that lacked connection to the performance. Zorg serves as the film's main antagonist, who visually benefits from technological innovations throughout the movie. His helicopter and weapon systems were designed with a distinctive aesthetic that fused mechanical detail and sleek futurism. Miniature models and computer-generated overlays brought these machines to life, emphasizing their danger and uniqueness. The visual effects team collaborated with the art department to create designs that maintained consistent visual style throughout the storytelling process. The effects team faced strict time limits while working on the film because of its ambitious production requirements. The team developed new techniques and software while maintaining their traditional practical effects methods. The team achieved their goal of developing innovative scenes, which maintained their production standards through this method because it required both creative and quality maintenance. The production team used direct involvement to create an outstanding visual experience that audiences will always remember. With such technical wizardry crafting the film's universe, Unexpected moments of humor and imperfection on set brought a human touch to the production experience. Behind-the-scenes bloopers. The intensity and seriousness of producing a sci-fi epic like The Fifth Element didn't stop the cast and crew from having fun, and sometimes making mistakes that turned into beloved bloopers. Some of the most amusing outtakes happened during the filming of explosive action scenes, where timing and coordination were critical. On more than one occasion, an actor's improvised laughter or forgotten line was caught on camera, leading to spontaneous moments of levity amid the chaos. These genuine reactions highlight the camaraderie behind the scenes. One infamous blooper involves Chris Tucker's character, Ruby Road, whose bombastic energy sometimes spilled over during takes. Reportedly, Tucker improvised several lines on set, occasionally losing his place or breaking character with laughter. Director Luc Besson encouraged this spontaneity, knowing Tucker's flair was hard to script, but essential to the film's unique tone. Some of these moments survived the editing process and became fan favorites for their raw humor. Milla Jovovich also recalls humorous incidents during her physically demanding scenes. While performing choreographed fights, there were moments when props didn't behave as expected. Sometimes, the weapons malfunctioned or didn't appear where they should have. Jovovich's quick reactions and good-natured responses alleviated tense situations and kept the set dynamic upbeat. These candid slips remind us that even a carefully planned production can encounter unpredictability. Bruce Willis shared stories about his struggle to keep a straight face during comic exchanges, especially alongside Tucker's exuberance. The chemistry between the two often sparked unscripted laughter that nearly halted scenes. These bursts of genuine emotion sometimes made it into the final cut, adding layers of authenticity. Willis's ability to blend humor with stoicism became a backbone for grounding the film's far-fetched plot. The technical aspects of the project encountered difficulties because designers created intricate miniature models for their work. A flying car model, which designers had built with great precision, suffered an unintentional break during a scene rehearsal, which created delays and required the team to develop new creative solutions. The team used their resources to create a better shot, which they used for filming, because production remained active after the incident. The movie-making process contains multiple situations which showcase its natural ability to recover from setbacks. The film required intensive makeup and prosthetic applications, which resulted in occasional performance errors. Actors faced challenges because they wore weighty costumes together with facial masks, which resulted in humorous situations when they stopped acting to solve their discomfort or performance problems. The human interactions established trust among the cast and crew, which enabled them to create a positive working environment during the visual effects process. The final product looks polished because the team successfully handled all challenges during production. Chris Tucker created one of the most memorable on-set stories when he began to dance during his free time. His energetic nature made the set more vibrant, which resulted in all crew members following his lead. The breaks between scenes offered essential emotional relief, which actors needed to endure the demanding shooting schedule. The energy Tucker brought off-screen created a major boost to both the cast's morale and the film's energetic atmosphere. Such imperfections endear the film to fans, making it not just a spectacle, but a shared experience. Soundtrack secrets. The soundtrack of The Fifth Element is an exhilarating blend of electronic, orchestral, and world music elements that perfectly mirrors the film's eccentric and vibrant world. Composer Eric Serra, a longtime collaborator of Luc Besson, crafted a score that balances futuristic sounds with emotional resonance. His use of synthesizers alongside traditional orchestral instruments created an otherworldly but accessible soundscape that enhances every scene, from frantic chases to tender moments. This fusion gave the film a unique identity that remains instantly recognizable. One of the most talked-about sequences is the opera scene, where the alien diva Plava Laguna performs an astounding piece blending classical opera and futuristic vocal effects. This aria, notably Il Dolce Suono from Donizetti's Lucia di Lammermoor, mixed with Serra's original compositions, offers a rare intersection of high culture and sci-fi spectacle. The scene's music was carefully chosen to reflect the film's theme of harmony between the past and the future. It also added an emotional depth that contrasts with the film's otherwise action-packed and comedic tone. Eric Serra's commitment to innovation is evident in his creation of ethereal sound textures using experimental electronic techniques. He incorporated unusual instruments and processing methods to design sounds that evoke the film's alien environments and technology. For example, some synth patches mimic the hum and energy of futuristic machinery, subtly reinforcing the setting without becoming overpowering. This attention to auditory detail enriched the immersive experience without distracting from the storytelling. Interestingly, the composer's work wasn't without controversy. Some critics and fans debated Serra's style, finding it unconventional compared to traditional Hollywood scores dominated by sweeping orchestras. However, Luc Besson staunchly supported Serra, valuing his distinctive voice as vital to the film's originality. Over time, many have come to appreciate how the soundtrack's eclecticism complements the movie's bold visuals and narrative. It stands as a testament to the value of creative risk-taking in film music. The partnership between Serra and Besson shows their shared understanding of the film's emotional center and visual style. Serra's music adapts fluidly to tonal changes which progress from intense sci-fi battle scenes to gentle human relationships. The score shows flexible elements that enable musical connections to flow through the movie's unorthodox genre combination. The score frequently functions as a second character that directs viewer emotions throughout the film's emotional high points and low points. Special recording techniques became necessary to capture the vocal performances, which included the opera singer's performance. The recording process required advanced studio technology to capture Plava Laguna's vocal range and otherworldly sound through multiple vocal layers, which created haunting yet beautiful audio effects. These recordings became a defining moment, not only for the film, but also in cinematic music history. They showed how music can cross linguistic and cultural boundaries to express emotions that people worldwide can understand. This blend of tradition and innovation also played a role in how the film's visual style and cultural presence took root in pop culture. Cultural impact and legacy. Since its release, The Fifth Element has left a significant mark on both science fiction cinema and popular culture worldwide. Its imaginative world-building, distinctive characters, and bold visual style inspired countless works in film, television, fashion, and even advertising. Designers, filmmakers, and artists often point to it as a major influence on their own creative projects. The film's visual language, especially its costumes and cityscapes, introduced a fresh take on future aesthetics that blended eclecticism with vibrancy. The movie's fusion of humor, action, and sci-fi elements helped it transcend niche genre boundaries and attract a diverse audience. This broad appeal contributed to its lasting relevance, as fans of various backgrounds could appreciate different aspects, from the thrilling plot to the colorful designs. Its cult status grew steadily through home video and cable TV broadcasts, eventually securing a dedicated global fan base. The film's enduring popularity is reflected in annual fan events and themed conventions celebrating its unique universe. Fashion, in particular, was deeply affected by Jean-Paul Gaultier's iconic costume work for the film. Elements like Li Lu's bandage outfit and Ruby Road's flamboyant ensembles challenged conventional ideas about sexiness and futurism. These costumes have been referenced and recreated in runway shows, music videos, and pop culture tributes. Gaultier's daring designs helped bridge high fashion and science fiction, demonstrating how film and style can creatively influence each other. This synergy elevated both industries. The Fifth Element also pioneered a style of sci-fi storytelling that embraced whimsy and spectacle without sacrificing heart or complexity. Many subsequent films adopted this approach, blending genres and tones in innovative ways. Directors taking cues from Besson's vision have cited the film's success with mixing humor and mythology as inspiration for their work. The movie demonstrated that science fiction could be both entertaining and profound, while breaking free from rigid genre expectations. The complete universe of The Fifth Element was developed into new media through video games and comic books. The film's unique visual style and storytelling elements have been recognized through official adaptations and fan-made creations. The story has continued to exist beyond its original cinematic release, through these expansions which introduce younger audiences to its fictional universe. The ongoing practice of making tribute works to the film demonstrates its ability to be interpreted in different ways. The film combined futuristic urban environments with elements from various cultures and ethnic groups, which became a precursor to worldwide media trends. The animated city scenes create a feeling of both unreal world and real world, which shows multiple cultural impacts that people from different cultures can understand. The film's dedication to showing diverse perspectives from its characters established a new standard for how subsequent science fiction works should show futuristic societies. The movie presented an open-ended future, which fans now continue to discuss and celebrate. The movie's lasting charm owes much to the curiosity and passion of its fans, who have given rise to a fascinating world of theories and little-known facts worth exploring next. Unexpected fan theories and trivia. The Fifth Element has inspired a passionate fan base whose creativity has uncovered fascinating theories and surprising pieces of trivia that add new layers to the film. One popular theory suggests that the four stones represent not only the classical elements, earth, air, fire, and water, but also mirror human emotions or aspects of consciousness. This interpretation invites viewers to consider the movie's battle between good and evil as an allegory for internal human conflict, deepening the spiritual and philosophical undercurrents that Luc Besson hinted at in early drafts. Fans have also speculated about the true nature of the Fifth Element beyond Li Lu's character. Some believe the Fifth Element symbolizes pure love or life force itself, an idea supported by the film's climax, where love ultimately defeats destruction. This perspective has sparked lively debates in online communities, highlighting how the film's themes resonate on a universal level. The openness of the story encourages viewers to project their own meanings, making it continually relevant and thought-provoking. A striking piece of trivia centers on Milla Jovovich's performance, which many fans now know was heavily influenced by her limited grasp of English during filming. Despite the language barrier, Jovovich's expressive physicality and emotive facial work created one of sci-fi's most memorable heroines. This adds an impressive dimension to her role, considering the challenges she embraced. It also helps explain why Li Lu's character feels so distinctively alien, yet profoundly human. Another intriguing fact involves the film's linguistic world-building. The mysterious language Li Lu speaks was not randomly generated, but crafted by Luc Besson himself, who combined various linguistic elements to make it sound both alien and believable. This constructed language echoes other famous cinematic tongues, but remains unique in its melodic and expressive qualities. It contributes significantly to the film's immersive atmosphere, reinforcing the otherworldly essence of The Fifth Element. The film production process used various unscripted moments which later became valuable trivia facts. The character Ruby Road, performed by Chris Tucker, includes multiple improvised lines that show his natural acting ability. Fans of the show have a special attachment to these scenes because they display genuine human behavior. The film achieves its playful atmosphere through actor improvisation, which filmmakers used to create distinct character traits. Some visual effects sequences include hidden Easter eggs that reference famous science fiction movies. The background of cityscape shots contains brief appearances of objects that resemble Star Wars ship designs. The Fifth Element uses these hidden references to show appreciation for its genre roots while creating a humorous interaction with its earlier works. Fans who spot these details demonstrate their deep understanding of science fiction history, which the filmmakers show admiration for. The role of Lilu in the casting process began with other actresses who rejected the offer before Milla Jovovich accepted the role. Milla Jovovich gained her first acting opportunity through this role, which established her path toward becoming an actress. Fans often wonder how different the character would have been with another actor in place. The film gains extra attraction through its what-if scenarios, which viewers use to explore its present-day context. From visionary costume design to groundbreaking effects and heartfelt performances, this film remains a cultural icon. If you enjoyed diving into these hidden gems, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite movies. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.